In this video, I want to show you how you store your quotes, your fees, as live quotes and turn them into residence. So if we go up to the quotes section, you have the new quote as we did in the previous video where you're creating a new quote, a new bed fee. And having created the bed fee, these are stored in live quotes. So here you have some live quotes that are different versions for this person Joe Blogs, and there's John Doe that we worked on. And you can edit, you can view the quote you did. So if we press on view, I've actually changed the fixed and staff costs. So previously in the video it was £95.90 for the fixed costs, but I've since changed those. And that's the thing, when you're in live quotes, if your costs change, then that will be reflected in the fee quote because it's live. So if you've increased your staff costs, your fixed costs, and you're still waiting on your commissioners to come back to you, your costs have then increased, and as such, your fee is increased. So going back to live quotes. Now, if for some reason you didn't get John Doe, but you feel that maybe sometime in the future he will come back, you can always simply archive. And you have your archive quotes, which you can then make live again. Once they're archived, then they're protected. So here's an old archive quote of John Doe, and you see that the old fixed cost has been protected. If you then win John Doe, you can then make resident. So let's make John resident, and it gives you a warning that it'll delete any other versions. So for example, if you made Joe Blogs 2 a resident, you'd lose Joe Blogs 3 and 1, unless you archive them. But the one you pick to make a resident clearly is the correct fee, is the fee that you are going to receive for that person, and therefore it makes sense that only that one is moved across. So now we're in current residence, and there's John Doe that you've just put in. Now let's say that you want to review Jane. And you view Jane, and you see that the fixed cost is the older fixed cost because her bed fee quote is in current residence and therefore safe from any changes you make to your costs. But you do a review of the fees, and so you make any changes to the care provision if that's what you need to do. But we won't do that for this example. We just need to make it live so that any changes to costs are reflected in the quote. For the purpose of this demonstration, we'll go into edit mode, and now you can make the resident quote live. So you can turn the quote from a resident quote to a live quote. Before we do that, this is version 1 of Jane. And now we're going to move this resident quote to live. But we don't just move it, we make a copy of it. Actually, the one thing I should have done is change the date on this. So go into edit and change the date. So it shows that a change has taken place. Save to quote, and you see that it's taken on the latest costs because it's now live. So now you have a version 2 of Jane Doe in live quotes. But you want to keep Jane Doe Part 1. And Jane Doe has now moved from current residence into archive residence. So version 1 of Jane Doe is now in archive residence. So that is now protected. So if we go back to live quotes, Jane Doe version 2, you have the fee review, it's all agreed. So now you make version 2 a resident. And there in current residence is Jane Doe version 2, and you still have Jane Doe version 1 in archive. Now if for some reason you want to put Jane Doe version 1 back into residence, you can, or if you want to make live, you can. But right now as things stand, This is the older version, so it's archived. And this is the new current version, so it's in current residence. As you see, you can delete residents. So if a resident passes away, you can delete them, or you can archive them. So here you build up that library of current residents, the library of archive residents of those who are no longer with you, all those older quotes that you still want to keep on file, and you keep live quotes which change according to any changes in fixed and staff costs. And if you don't win that person, you can archive them or delete them. And that's how you manage your library of quotes.